everybody. Welcome. This girl's on fire.
Oh, no, this is all about Dr. Kulkarni. We are on fire. Okay, let me pull it up.
Girl.
Okay.
Ready? Are we ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
All right. Hello.
Okay, start again.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to episode 12. Hello, Tanya.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Christiana.
So, Tanya, I was a really good student this past week, and I completed our challenge from last week, which was to figure out who my alter ego was and to incorporate that alter ego into each of my days. And it was really, really awesome. Truth bomb, believe it or not. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud already, but I realized that it is super, super helpful to pull from my alter ego, who I identified as my sister-in-laws, and other people I admire, of course, when I'm not quite feeling like super Christiana, because we're not always, feeling super duper, right, and super perfect. So the past week, I have to admit, really, really rocked, and thanks to my alter ego, thanks to you for bringing that up, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's been pretty freaking amazing.
I think it's awesome.
Seriously.
I mean, kudos to you for being this overachiever since we started this podcast.
Overachiever. Woo. I'll give myself.
I wish you guys can so you guys, who's ever watching can see behind the scenes, but I'm like, what? This is so good. It's so good because,
I'm patting myself on the back.
Because she didn't believe it at first, but I think it's impressive. But in all honesty, I do think it's impressive that we present the challenge and you are doing the challenge.
Of
that
course,
awesome,
I've always been a diligent student, Tanya.
But I think that our challenges are they're useful tools,
Definitely.
Especially for those with a growth mindset, which is what I think both you and I have been embracing, and as opposed to a fixed mindset. So why not use these useful tools? And I mean, what do you have to lose other than negative thoughts of I can't? And you can gain thoughts of maybe I should look at things differently. Maybe you can do it. So I thought that last week was a perfect example of you doing that, because Christiana was like, no way, I know who I am.
I know who I am.
I do not need an alter ego. And
lo and behold, look at that.
And you were able to identify areas in your life, like you said, that you found challenging. So I thought that was woohoo, and I gave an example of somebody in the public eye. I gave Gwyneth Paltrow because if you haven't listened to it, tune in, because we pick alter egos according to some difficulty or a role, something that's really important to you at that moment, and
what's frustrating
and
at that
what's
point.
important.
Yes.
What I said, why I picked Gwyneth Paltrow, was because of this podcast and what she has done with her modern lifestyle brand. And you picked Michelle Obama too.
Yes,
but
that was my celebrity alter ego.
But when you picked somebody very, very relatable that people can pick, like your sister-in-laws, it just made me think of my design consultant turned really good friend turned life coach, Jerry. And
love her.
so you can use them. I picked her because you can use them in all different roles of what's important to you, like I said, but I think being a mom is really important to me too. And she's like this wonderful mother. So I think it's just such a very approachable and relatable way to become the best version of whatever area in life you are. So
it's like a little crutch.
So good. I adore this growth mindset of ours.
I love it as well. I really do. And the older I get, the more I want to grow. And I think that's sort of this podcast, why I've embarked on this journey for the podcast. I want to grow. I want to expand. I want to evolve. And I think that is the growth mindset. I don't want to stagnate. Never, I don't. Just particularly the older I get.
I agree with that, because people in a fixed mindset, they believe that they are either good at something because they are born with that, or it's just like it's like a natural inherent nature. And there's a lot of qualities that I know that don't come natural to me and that I've had to work on. So it's nice to know that there's a lot of areas in my life that still have a full potential. I could still work on things. So
definitely
embracing growth mindset, right? And so I got to come up with a good quote here, right? Because
I love your quotes.
And that is, becoming is better than being. And so I love this because we can always learn and get better at what we do and at what we think, right?
What we think.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And I completely agree. I've never heard of that quote, but I love it. It's simple, it's basic, but it's so powerful. And I also agree. I think that no matter what age you are, we can always, always, always learn. We can grow. We can evolve. We're always becoming. And
Michelle Obama's book.
Yes,
Becoming.
I don't want to keep quoting Michelle Obama, but thank you. Yes, and I love that book. But it is true. We're always becoming. We're always evolving. And I think that's something that I embrace completely, especially as I'm getting older, which I think is, I know there's this stigma with getting older, but I think that also it's so beautiful as you age to get that wisdom, that you don't have to be that person you always were, but you can always grow.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, let's get to the good stuff here. Speaking about aging and changing and all that, I think this is a perfect segue to our marvelous guest today, the girl on fire, Dr. Anita Kulkarni. This girl is on fire. Oh gosh, we didn't need that. But Tanya, do you remember how excited, who's lying here? How nervous, how the fear, the trepidation we had when we went to interview her, because she was actually our very, very first interview way back in January when we didn't really know what we were doing, but we started somewhere.
We didn't know what
I didn't interview anybody since college, my journalism college days, right?
Yeah.
But can you believe how long ago that was? Do you remember that?
Yeah. And
that
like
cold
I said,
January day?
I wish, back then we knew about this alter ego, concept, because I would have really looked into that, to step into somebody who felt more comfortable, who felt less awkward, and less, all things just better than what I remember it to be. But, I think that our nervousness, it was obviously from interviewing somebody who was that accomplished, like Dr. Kulkarni, but it really is just from starting something new. And so kudos to starting something new, even when you didn't think you were ready.
That's
right?
absolutely true. That's half the battle. Woo, woo.
All right, so Dr. Kulkarni, she is an award-winning, board-certified female plastic surgeon. And we talked about so many good things. We talked about what brought her to practicing medicine, to all of a sudden, why she wanted to create a practice for women by women. It was a really good interview, and I can't wait to dive deep into that. And I love her scope. We really talked about her scope of practice, because when people think of, I don't want to say all, but when a lot of people think about plastic surgery, I think a lot of people think of it as being very elective, and so there's that whole aspect of reconstructive surgery that some people don't think about.
That's right.
Of after cancer that is very badly needed and wanted. And I say that, I don't have breast cancer, but I definitely had suffered a near-death infection where I have a horrible scar that I'm embarrassingly sensitive about, but so I can see why I would look to somebody of that.
Absolutely.
Like I said,
plastic surgery is not a bad word.
You just feel better. Anyways, So, and we talked about all things that we always like to talk about, how she's managed to chase her dream while balancing marriage, parenthood, passion, all our passion, social life, traveling. It's really good.
It was super fun. She's fierce. She's mega smart. She's gorgeous. She's kind, super relatable.
Yes.
And this notion of the growth mindset totally complemented, I think, our interview with Dr. Kulkarni, because you'll get to hear about this fascinating open letter that she wrote to her patients where she talks about not passing judgment on each other's personal choices.
Yeah.
And I can completely agree with that, because I feel that we need to do what we need to do to feel at our absolute best. And that might be not doing anything at all. Might be not doing anything at all, and that's fine. But when we feel our personal best, I think that we perform. At least I'll speak for myself. I perform at my best, and then we become that best version of ourselves. And that has such a tremendous impact to the way we live our lives and to the way we live each day.
I agree with you. We are really agreeing a lot today.
Woo! What's going on? My gosh, it's going to get boring.
But, not only do we judge, we're guilty of judging other people, I think we are guilty of judging ourselves. And like you said, I think a lot of us do perform at our best when we feel the best. But sometimes I think we feel guilty about that. So I think we just have to negate all that. And I loved how she touched on just the anatomical changes, what happens with pregnancy, and how sometimes no matter, however a million crunches and all those challenges you could do, like a fitness guru like Sheila Cordero or any fitness boutique, that sometimes it's not just genetics and not just working out that can
things happen to your body
so
that need surgery sometimes, right? That you have to repair.
So super inspiring, motivating, and really empowering for us to just support each other and learn from people like Dr. Kulkarni, who like to spread this message. And I love this idea of just being compassionate and being kind to everybody and to ourselves. So let's step into the no judgment zone with Dr. Anita Kulkarni, and we just really hope that you guys are as inspired as us with her message. So
yes. Let's get to it. But before we get to the interview, just one little second, just want to do a commercial break to make sure everybody tunes in next week, because we're talking all things dream boards and visualization. With a very, very special guest who's very dear to me. But in the meantime, you're right. Let's get to it. Let's turn our attention to the girl on fire.
This girl
is on fire. Dr. Anita Kulkarni.
Here we go.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.